Greetings and hello, happy Monday. So you guys asked and here we go. Here I am delivering. Last week I put out some feelers for what kind of email training you would like to work with next. And here we are, we're gonna do a series on control. So the funny thing about control is that oftentimes, because we are so programmed and you are so brought up in the world to really truly believe that you have any measure of control over things outside of yourself, it is a very challenging and very multi-layered thing to overcome, right? It's very easy, and you hear it all the time, I'm sure, oh, you just have to let go and you just have to give up control. But being the realists that we are, I'll be the first to admit that it's much, much easier said than done. In my opinion, the first thing that needs to be addressed when we're talking about control, and this is going to be our focus of the training today, the very first thing that needs to be swallowed about control before you even start taking measures, before you start taking steps, before you start trying to live under this practice of letting go of control, is you have to just swallow and reconcile the truth that control is just an illusion. And that's where, to start this training, I'd like to just do a little short reading for you guys. And this is from one of the Rinpoche monks, which is one of the schools of Buddhism that I follow, about groundlessness. So groundlessness is a very big practice in Buddhism, and it's all about accepting that you have control over nothing and that everything is impermanent. So when you can start to digest the idea that control is an illusion anyway, suddenly it plants a seed in your mind that maybe control isn't all it's cracked up to be. Because when you can start to teach yourself that by seeking to control, you're actually just trying to hold on to an illusion. And what's an illusion but something that's not real, right? So the everyday practice is simply to develop a complete acceptance and openness to all situations and emotions, and to all people experiencing everything totally without mental reservations and blockages, so that one never withdraws or centralizes into oneself. So that is what I want you guys to focus on for part one of this training, is where in your life are you cheating yourself of an experience or a feeling or an emotion because you are too caught up in your control of the situation the way that you think it should be, right? So my first challenge to you as part of this training is to ask yourself, where in my life do I feel the need to try to exert control? When I feel like I am not in control, I feel fill in the blank. And I want you to dig into that. And these are the perfect questions that you can send back to me in an email response, and that will help me then tailor the training. So the first question is, when I feel I am not in control, I feel fill in the blank. And the other one was, where in my life do I feel like I need to control everything? You know, is it what other people are doing? Because what I really want to shine your awareness onto is just how pervasive our need for control is, right? Because even when we're falling into judgment, I want you to reflect for a moment and ask yourself, when you fall into judgment, whatever it is you're judging in someone else is actually kind of connected to control. Okay, so we say how? And it's because, you know, by us judging someone else, you're essentially saying that you know better how they should be. You know better about the choices they should make. Now, is that not control? Right? So if you ask yourself, you're having an opinion on someone else's decision, is that not control? Right? The ego loves control. The ego loves to be focused on what everyone else is doing and having opinions about it. And that's how it keeps you separate, feeling isolated and divided, right? And this is not to say that the ego is a tool, but what needs to happen, and that's the idea behind coaching, behind working with a mentor, behind working with a teacher, behind spirituality. The idea is that you're not looking to kill your ego, you're not looking to destruct your ego, because you're a human being navigating a third dimensional world. You need your ego, but your ego needs to become a tool. Your ego needs to stop running the show and stop being outwardly focused and trying to control everyone else. Because once you make that happen, you have a whole lot more energy to actually do things in your life that you have control over, like maintaining your own state, right? That's what you have control over. So take a moment today, sit with your breath, and ask yourself the questions that I've asked you. And if you feel called, please don't hesitate to share them in the Facebook group or hit reply to this email and send them back. And I'll see you guys Wednesday for part 2 of this training.